All right, everybody, so the next thing we're working on here is going to be a button to drop the drawbridge. Now, unlike our last video where we had a key that allowed you to unlock the bridge, so you still had to approach it, this one's going to work a little bit different. This one's going to drop as soon as you hit the button, and the button is not going to be attached to our drawbridge at all. Like, it's going to be a completely separate actor. So it is going to be a little bit different than what we see with our key. So first thing I want to do is I have a drop key bridge. I'm going to make a duplicate of this, and this is going to be a drop button bridge. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this, and I'm going to change this into a button. Whoops. Button bridge. There we go. And I'll go ahead and open that up because we're going to need it. And I'll get rid of some of these other ones. We might need the side scroller. We don't need the key anymore, and we don't need that. So one thing we're gonna need to do is make a new blueprint for the floor button. It's gonna be kind of like a pressure plate kind of thing. So we're gonna go here to blueprint class. We're gonna go over to the actor, and this is gonna be BP underscore, let's say floor button. Okay, it's going to be big enough for us to walk onto. So this is going to be similar to the floor buttons you'd find in like Portal or some other puzzle games that you have out there. Of course, any Metroidvania, a lot of them will have these kind of pressure plate floors as well. So we're going to go in and we're going to grab 2 cylinders. That's what I like to do to just mock up a button really fast. We got this one, and then we're going to duplicate it. And so this one is going to be my inner button. And this is going to be the outer housing for the button. So what I want to do is I'm going to take the inner button and I'm going to shrink it just a little bit. Okay, just along these 2 axes right here. I think that did it. Now I'm on the outer housing, and I want to close that one down a little bit. Doesn't look like the inner button shrank the way I wanted it to. So I'm just gonna get this set up the way I like it. And there we go, that's better. I also want to make it a different color. That should really help out with differentiating between these things. This is going to be, that's not quite what I was wanting. I was wanting more like a grid kind of thing that kind of stood out, but the editor brush material could work. Okay, so let's see. It's an editor brush, so you can see through it. Never mind. Sorry, my bad. We're going to go in here and grab something different. Heat map material. There we go. It's nice and bright. You can see it from a distance. Okay, good. So that's our little button right there. And I think we're going to end up making this a good bit bigger. But let me go ahead and pull it up. And I just want it poking up out of there just a little bit, because I'm actually going to use the button for the collider. Okay, so I'm going to just grab the outer housing now and shrink that up some, because one thing about this is we need to be able to step onto it, so we want to make sure that it's not too tall, otherwise we won't be able to get up on it very well. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think I want to extend it out just a little bit more down here. It's always good just to, as you're working, just like with cooking, test things as you're going along, make sure they're going to work for you. So I'm going to grab that floor button and drag it out here. Oh, that actually looks pretty good. I think that's going to work. I'm going to put it over here because I want to put the bridge over this way, but as far as it being in line, not quite. Right there. I think that's going to work for us though. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to step up on that without any trouble. Okay, let's go back to the floor button. And we need to do some checking on our inner button housing right here, specifically on our collision. So since this is going to be taking information from our player contacting it, we want to go in here and change it to an overlap all. So this way, whenever our character steps on it, it'll send information back and forth and not just block them whenever they're trying to climb up on top of the button. So we got that set. We're in good shape. We just need to remember that that's going to be our trigger collider for this. So I'm going to grab a link for that inner button right here. Actually, what am I thinking? We're going to be doing collision still, so I just need to highlight it. Right click, begin overlap. Okay, make sure we get the one for the inner button. We're going to do a cast to because we're just checking on that character. Cast to, I'm just going to type in character. And no, we're going to need side scroller in there to get that thing to come up. There we go. Okay, we're going to make sure we connect our actor to the object so it knows what we're looking for. And then if this is the right thing, what we want to do is we're going to have it just basically yell out at the rest of the game like, hey, if you're supposed to be listening to me, then you need to be doing the thing that I'm telling you to do. Okay, in this case, this button is going to say, hey, drawbridge. And the drawbridge is going to say, what? Did that guy step on you? Yeah, okay, I'll drop the drawbridge then. That's kind of what we're setting up. So the way we do that is right down here on this side where our components are. Then we have my blueprints, and down here at the bottom we have event dispatchers. Okay, so this event dispatcher is what's yelling out at everything, and this also is what people are kind of listening for, this event dispatcher. So I'm going to call this drop bridge, which might be a little bit dangerous just because I have things called drop bridges. So I'm going to say activate drop bridge. That sounds better. I like that. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is we're going to drag this into our event graph here, and we're going to call it. Now, anything that's listening for it, it's going to be bound to it. We're going to use bind, but we're going to use that in here in just a second on that bridge. Let's go ahead and do the call. Okay, and we're going to link these up right here. We're going to do compile, and essentially our button is done. Okay, we can always do some other little bells and whistles, make the button change color when you step on it and activate it, you know, make it have a noise or something like that. But essentially, this is all we need. All right, so let's go ahead and save that, and we're going to go over to our button bridge. Now, everything that we need is already pretty much here. The only thing is that now we don't need a collider. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that trigger collider. We don't want that. Yes, get rid of that. Now this is going to complain because it's like, hey, wait a second, you're using that. Not really, not right now. So what we're going to do is get rid of this. We're not looking for that key on this one. We're just trying to see, did he step on the button, right? So to do this, we're going to use something that we usually get rid of right at the beginning, and that's event begin play. And this is an event that will kick off as soon as the game starts. So that's the trigger for this one. So we pull off of this. Actually, my bad. What we really want to do is we need to make one more thing before we do that. We need to make a reference in our variables over here to our button. So what I want to do is type in BP underscore, make this work, floor button. Okay, actually, I don't know. What am I doing? I'm silly. I don't want to do that there. I want to do it just, I don't want to do the BP part. I want to do button. That's enough. And then right here, this is the important place. This is where you want to put in BP underscore floor button. Let's see. Okay, well, I'll just type in floor. And we should be getting our BP floor button right there. Okay, good. Another thing we want to do with this is so we can find the button for the bridge in the game view here. We're wanting to make this an instance editable variable. Here we go. We're back in the bridge. I accidentally clicked on the floor button. So on the button variable right here, we just want to make sure we turn that on by opening this little eye. And you'll notice if you go over here, instance editable is what we're doing. We're making this particular variable instance editable. So what we're going to be able to do with this is that when we go into our space right here and we bring in our bridge, our button bridge, I'll go ahead and bring that in now. Let's see, can I get that to lock in? There we go. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and spin that around in just a second. But since we have that set up right now, what we're going to see is a default section that shows up asking for what button do you want this bridge to be associated with. So at this point, we only have one button, so I can go into this drop down and just select it. But if you have several and they're all over the place, and you might not have named them very well, it's a possibility, we're going to go over here to this little eyedropper, click on that, and then we can go over to our button and select it. So this is now linked to our bridge. Our button is linked to our bridge. I just want to put the bridge in the position where we want it to be. We want it to lean out that way. Let's see here. Is that fairly well lined up? It's eyeballed pretty well for government work from what we're doing. So let's check and see anything else we need to hook up. Oh yeah, well, we actually need to listen for the event dispatcher from our button. So I'm going to bring the button in, that reference to the button. I'm going to drag off of it, and I'm going to do bind. What did we call this thing? Activate event to activate drop bridge. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. So I want to hook this up. So as soon as the game starts, it's going to start listening for this. Now you might think, oh, okay, cool. Well, then let's hook up this execute pin to the drop bridge and we're done. Well, actually, that's not really how that works. So what happens here is that this gets kicked off when the game starts, this fires, and then it just keeps firing through any other execute pins that are there. This keeps listening. So as soon as this hears something, then it'll come off of this event right here, this little red box that we see right here. Okay, so we're going to drag off of that, and we're going to make a custom event. Okay, so this custom event, we can just call it, drop bridge. Okay, just so we're kind of staying with that. It says, oh, well, it's giving us a bit of an error because it is the name of something we have here. It's, called drop bridge, this component that we have over there. So I'm going to go ahead and back that up, and we're just going to say drop it. Okay, that'll work. That'll be enough. Okay, and from here, this is what we want to bring over. Okay, now the reason I wanted to bring this up is because I don't want you to get confused and hook this up to our play. But if you need other things to happen off your event begin play, they can definitely come after that bind event. So those other things will fire after your bind event. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and compile. This should take care of it for us. Let's go ahead and check it out. I'm going to go ahead and hit play. And first thing we want to do is we want to just check this and make sure it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, man, I got a huge slope that I can go up there as that character, but then we hit this button and oh, hey, it's dropping for us. Good deal. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. We wanted that to drop as soon as we hit the button. Okay, so as far as the basics of what we need to have happen here, now notice he is going into the button. So if that's going to be a problem for you, a solution for that, oh, hey, look, we got a few little errors there. Let me see what we got going on. Okay, I want to hit, okay, it may have just been a one-time thing. That's possible. Okay. Oh, or what happened is I went over here, and then when I went back, I touched the button again. So that might have been, no, okay, may have just been something in the buffer from last time. So not a big deal. No errors or anything like that. So that's our button. That's our drawbridge. And that's how you can make an event dispatcher, make another actor do its bidding. All right.